Welcome to our series on what happened this week in Scripture through time on Elohim's creation calendar. I am Sierra, your host, and will be introducing my husband Joshua this week, who will be speaking to you today. He will be sharing with you all the events in Scripture of the next 7-day week occurring in month 1, days 22 through 30, on the Enoch, Jubilees, Zadok Dead Sea Scrolls calendar of creation. Remember, you can download the PDF file and do your personal chronological reading and full Bible study of these events. Please do share this video with your friends and fellowship. I am so busy preparing a separate show this week, giving our perspective on the festival of first fruits of barley. Be sure to watch that one to understand this week even more. It may not come out until Friday evening, as this has been such a busy week answering the tremendous response that we have received and all the comments that have meant so much to us on the video that we did on 3 days and 3 nights. If you haven't watched that, please do. There is a short bonus that Joshua will be reading with you at the end of this video, so be sure to watch all the way. And here he is now, the man of the hour.
Welcome to Numbering the Days channel. This is week 4. I am Joshua, your narrator this week. And we are in the 22nd day, and it is the 4th day of the week. And we are wandering in the wilderness of Shur, finding no water. In the Exodus, we've included a couple links below for various maps of this part of the journey. For 3 full days, no water could be found. Shur is H7793 and means an ox, strength, boldness, traveler on a journey. An appropriate picture of the people shown a great victory as they first start out on their journey. In Paleo, the word Shur refers to the purifying trials and tribulations being connected to the head of a man or the chief princes of them. The journey they are embarking upon tests not only their physical strength, but also the mental toughness needed to survive in the wilderness, humbling both poor and prince among them. We give you a couple of sites to look at, maps that people believe may have been the journey that they took. Personally, I think Ron Wyatt nailed it on the Red Sea crossing with finding one of the poles of Solomon and wagon wheels and such in the Red Sea. I think that's pretty well known where they crossed. In Joshua's conquest, it is the 7th day around Jericho. 7 times and the walls come down. They blow the shofars 7 times on the 7th round, and this event links to other events like in Jubilees 7 times 7, the Omer count 7 times 7, and also the 7 trumpets in the book of Revelation. Next is Messiah and the Gospels, the circumcision of John the Baptist. Be sure to read this part of Luke. The crowd at the temple is astounded that both parents had the same name for the baby boy. What a confirmation. Zechariah can speak again and speaks great words of deliverance for the people and the fulfillment of prophecy to come from the birth of his son and the coming Messiah. Read verses 77 through 79 slowly. Realize the temple in Jerusalem is already there with a religious system in place forgiving sins. Be sure to watch our upcoming video focusing on the priesthood of both John and Yahusha to learn more about the birth of John and who he really was. The next day is wandering in the wilderness of Shur, finding no water. It's day 2 of 3. And then on the 3rd day, finding no water. Is it not interesting this is occurring at the same time of the year, just after our Messiah, who said to come to him, he will give you living waters, was in a tomb dead, not giving forth his living waters to anyone for 3 days and nights. Do not let the timing of these events and overlap escape you. The people of the Exodus went through their own 3 days experience, like the early followers of Messiah, who for 3 days and 3 nights would have been mourning him, left in the bitterness of the experiences of the trial and crucifixion, struggling in their trial and tribulation just as the people in the Exodus in Shur. Daniel's 3 weeks of mourning comes to an end. Daniel was mourning the 70 weeks prophecy and the end of Messiah and the temple revealed at the end of chapter 9. Think about how Daniel was mourning just before and during last week's events when Messiah prophesied the destruction of the temple, the damnation of the ruling religious authorities, the Pharisees and Sadducees, which all came from the Babylonian exile where Daniel now is. Think about the anguish of Daniel, who could foresee how the ministry of the Messiah was cut off by his own people and their being left without him. The next day is the Sabbath. The waters at Marah were made sweet for Yasharel. When they found water, it was bitter. Yah instructs Moses to throw a tree into the waters, which turns it into sweet waters. This is the second miracle where he is demonstrating his power to transform water. First was river waters into blood in Egypt, and eventually third is water into wine. Tree is Ayin Zadi in Hebrew, H6086 and H6096, and means not only a tree but to take counsel from someone. Yahuwah promises if they will hearken to his voice, keep his commandments and his statutes, that he will not put the diseases of the Egyptians onto them. This is a foreshadowing of the Messiah who later turns the waters of the Pharisees into wine, who removed the leaven of the Pharisees so the truth of the sweetness of his pure Father's Torah could become sweet living waters which he gave. Yahuwah has tested them and is saying, listen to me, follow me, and healing will take place for you just like I healed these waters. Yah wants us to be his trees of righteousness planted by the living waters. In order to bear the good fruit of first fruits, which is tomorrow, we need good, clean, living water. This reminded me of those two verses with the same emphasis as this experience of the people. Psalm 1, 2, and 3. But his delight is in the law of Yahuwah, and in his law does he meditate day and night. And he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water, that bringeth forth his fruit in his season. His leaf also shall not wither, and whatsoever he does shall prosper. And next we have first fruits, day 1 of counting the Omer. Notice that the Feast of Weeks is 7 times 7 days, and Jacob had to deal with the leaven of Laban, 7 years for Leah and 7 years to get Rachel. One can only imagine he counted the years. He would have also had to deal with feelings of bitterness, just as his later descendants will. Many times our being set free and delivered from bondage is through trials and tribulations, which can sometimes include struggles with bitterness. Another 7 times 7 to reflect upon is Matthew 18:21, and the 70 times 7 times we must forgive our brother's sins. I believe Jacob's experiences here relate to the cyclic nature of sowing and reaping, which begin with the Omer counts. Barley to wheat to wine to oil through the summer are all the 7 times 7 patterns detailed in the Dead Sea Scrolls. Now, today the sheaves of barley were presented by the priests from the people as the first fruits festival of the new year. They were not allowed to eat of their new barley until the priests had presented the first cuttings to Yah. To learn more about this festival of first fruits, be sure to watch our separate video on our channel going into more detail and insights. The counting of the Omer begins. It's the first of 49 days. The countdown to the next first fruit festival begins. Barley is today, then wheat, wine, and oil. We have the counting of the Omer day 2 through 5 for the rest of the week. Here at Numbering the Days, we believe Elohim gave Prophet Enoch, the seventh from Adam, complete insight into the heavenly cycles of time and Enoch wrote on the details of this calendar in 1st Enoch. The book of Jubilees confirmed the calendar as being part of the covenant with creation when Noah exited the ark, so it would be reestablished. It was confirmed again with Abraham and Moses, confirmed yet again with King David, establishing priestly services. And finally, in our modern age, the Dead Sea Scrolls confirming both priestly services and the calendar cycles. This is the only calendar that proves itself under the rigorous testing through Scripture, through archaeological artifacts and observations of ancient historians. This is why we have chosen this calendar to map all the events of Scripture with. Even if you currently follow a different calendar based upon the solar and or lunar cycles, you may still find this document an interesting resource as it groups all the events in Scripture based upon the timing of when they occurred. We have performed extensive research in the development of this document. When you see RSA in the listing of references, we have resources available upon request to share, charts, graphs, and our working papers and thoughts on how something was arrived at. Please feel free to email us at publisher@numberingisways.com and let us know what you would like. If you know of any additional dates in the Scripture we missed, please let us know. Any feedback based upon other traditions and other calendars will not be used. We are not going to engage in any calendar debates. This is a tool that has been developed for those people that have chosen to follow 1st Enoch, Jubilees, the Dead Sea Scrolls, and the Tanakh. The resources that we use in the compilation of this calendar are listed below. Some are available free online as PDF files. If you are unable to locate anything, we will be happy to provide the publicly available PDF file to you upon request. What's next? We will be creating more resources and teaching tools in the future. Already in the works is a complete reading schedule of all scriptures in a chronological format. I have a list of items to include in the next edition of this calendar document too. It is our intention to help parents who homeschool their children with study resources and materials. If you are interested in learning Paleo-Hebrew, Yehudiyth, be sure to contact us as we have a class available for mentoring students to help uncover the richness of Scripture. If you would like to know when we come out with new materials, please email us and we'll keep you informed. Thank you for listening to what happened in this week number 4. We hope you subscribe to our channel for more episodes. And be sure to watch the video this week that goes in depth into the meaning of First Fruits Festival. Yah Baruch you.